Hey, this is Manuel from New Work by Design, and today I want to talk about change. When you want to achieve change, it is useful to be clear on three things. The first one is what is your current situation, where are you at, and what is true there. Second one is what ought to be. So where would you like to be in the future once you moved away from what is right now? And that very much depends on your goals, but also your morals, in general, your perspective. And then the third thing is, how do you get there? So how do you get from where you are today, what is to what ought to be in the future? It seems pretty obvious what you pointed out, but most people do not gain clarity on all these three things before they start moving and hoping to achieve some kind of change. So now looking at these things, it's pretty natural to assume that in this image, the two states, the two circles are permanent and the transition between them is transient. So temporary. The very words we use suggest as much. Transition is defined as the process or period of changing from one state or condition to another. Whereas one of the meanings of state is a nation or territory considered as an organized political community under one government. This might be why we associate state with something permanent and stable that's just there, even though not even nation states are. However, the number one meaning listed in the Oxford Dictionary about state is the particular condition that someone or something is in at a specific time, which makes it already pretty clear that states are temporary, right? And that is what I want to point out here, that what is not one stable thing. It changes, and then it changes again and again, and it always does, right? The reality is that these states are not permanent. They're ever changing. So for example, what is might change by a colleague leaving and you have to find a replacement for their position. Or it might change by a conflict arising and the resulting tension prevents you from having good collaboration. Or there's a change in the market that requires you to react to it and abandon the plans you made before and just do something else. You say that what is already always changing. The same is true, of course, on the other side of what ought to be. This will always also be changing. The goal is not to get to a stable state. The goal is to get from a state where you're constantly reacting to what's happening around it to a state that allows for more deliberate proactivity. In the examples I gave earlier, you want to be in a state where people feel safe enough to talk to their people lead when they're unhappy and have an open, honest conversation about what they actually need. And then even if you decide that it's time to part ways, you will have a much longer lead time and the support of the person leaving to find a suitable replacement. Or in the example of the conflict, when you address and embrace conflict as an opportunity to grow, even when the conflicting parties can't agree on a shared strategy forward, after having engaged in conflict resolution, they will know that the other is acting in good faith and the relationship between them is still intact. In the example of the changes in the market, that won't feel like something happening to you. Now you have to throw your plan overboard, rather has valuable feedback from the market, how you're supposed to adjust your plan. If you're in a state where that doesn't throw you off, but everyone's still aligned on the bigger picture, then everyone can still move forward with confidence. You'll be in constant change anyway, so why not be in a state where you grab a surfboard and ride the waves of change instead of trying to be a rock that's not moved by the changes. The advantage is, if you want to be the rock, you will feel like a victim of the constant change hitting you. Well, it's easy to feel like a victim anyway. But when you're on a surfboard, you have agency, and instead you will feel like the creator of your circumstances. That's everything I wanted to say about change for today. If you would like my support on your organizational change efforts, you can head to newworkbydesign.com and find my offers there. And obviously, if you like this video, subscribe to this channel. I'll add videos over time here as I go along. Thanks for being an ally in creating more fulfilling workplaces. I appreciate you.